All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, as you can see on the screen here, it's time for Green Yellow Law. That's right, guys, Green Yellow Trafalgar Law from OP10. We did Eustass Kid yesterday, okay? We only had 3 games for yesterday because I was rushed with it. The sim had come out that day, right? So I had to get as many games in as I could, as quick as I could. But I only got 3 games in for Eustass Kid for yesterday's video. But for today, we got 5 games lined up. Let me go ahead and break down the video so you guys know what we're getting into, and we can hop right into it. First up, we're going to check out the deck list. A lot of people liked doing the deck list first. We will do that first. Then we'll have, excuse me. Then we're going to have 2 games of Eustass Kid, like Green Yellow Law versus the decks I'm about to say. 2 games against Eustass Kid, 1 game against Black Blue or Blue Black Usopp, a game against Green Purple Lim, and then another game against Blue Black Usopp. So 2 games against Usopp, 2 games against Eustass Kid, and a game against Green Purple Lim. Okay? After that, we will talk about the deck again. We'll break it down again, and I'll give you guys my thoughts on it and all that good stuff. Okay? As usual, I will have everything time-stamped in the general description. I'll have all relevant deck lists and links and stuff like that in the comment section below. Speaking of that, I'll even have yesterday's video on Eustass Kid. I'll have that linked in the comment section below as well, in case you missed that. Guys, Eustass Kid might be my favorite new leader in OP10. Not overall leaders. Red, Yellow, Sabo is my favorite leader. But coming out of OP10, Eustass Kid, a lot of fun. Okay, but this leader, probably second place, and we'll talk about that in today's video. For me, that's just for me, guys, personally. Okay, let's do this, guys. Let's get into it. If you ever have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to ask down in the comment section below, or hop on the VV Theory Discord. Link is in the channel description. We're talking about One Piece on there like 24/7, guys. It's a good time. Okay? One more announcement I want to make before we get into this is I am streaming now Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays from 9 p.m. Eastern to 12 a.m. So that's a 3-hour period each one of those days. It has been a lot of fun to interact with everybody. If you haven't made one of those yet, try to make one of those, okay, guys? That's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern to 12 a.m., Eastern. Okay? All right, let's do this. Let's get into it. So first things first, let me actually get out of the player we got here and bring this up, move my head out of the way, move the leader screen out of the way, and we can check out the list we're running. Now, again, same thing with Eustass Kid. I did not come up with this list. This was a copy-paste list from either gumgum.gg or from, it was from gumgum.gg or from OnePieceTopDecks.com. I'll try to link that as well in the comment section or in the general description, or actually, no, the comment section, so that way you guys can check out whatever deck you want to play and try to see where this one came from. But this is the list we're running. All these cards at the top we already know about, right? I'm not going to go over these. These have been out for a while now, most of them. The new cards to talk about from OP10 is 4 Beige. Now, this card was not in. This card was not in Eustass Kid because it just doesn't quite have a good enough synergy with that leader effect. But with Green Yellow Law, this 2K counter is outstanding. Let's read what it does real quick. It's a 1-cost, 0-power 2K counter, Supernova, searchable. On play, you may add 1 card from the top or bottom of your life cards to your hand, the top or bottom, and then add up to 1 character with the type Supernova from your hand to the top of your life cards face up. There is no cost restriction on that, okay? Oh, we're going to talk about the leader too. Don't worry, we'll go over the leader as well. But that is very important for the leader effect because remember, guys, like in this, how do I say this? For the leader effect, it is extremely important to put a 5-cost or lower character. We're about to talk about that right now. But with Beige, the only thing that's super relevant here is the fact that we can put a Supernova character on top, right? So that way we can pull a card from our life and put the card we want on top, but it will typically be a 5-cost character, so we can cheat it out with the leader's effect. Now, let's read the leader effect. The leader, it's a 5,000 power, 4-life, green, yellow, dual color leader. It is Heart Pirates and Supernova and Dressrosa. It's a 3 different type leader. Here's the effect. Dawn ×1, activate main once per turn. If the total cost of your characters is 5 or more, you can return 1 of your characters to the hand and then reveal the top card of your life. And if that card is a Supernova type card, Supernova type character card with a cost of 5 or less, you can play it. That is very important, right? So notice what we have here right away. 4 Cavendish, 4 Trafalgar Law, 4 Jory Bonnie. This Jory Bonnie is Supernova, right? Even though the 3-cost yellow one is not, this one is Supernova. And then 4 of the Restand. People call this the Restand Law. This is a great card as well. We need to talk about the leader effect for a minute, okay? Because this is something that I realized when playing it. Dawn times 1 activate main once per turn if the total cost of your characters is 5 or more. So let's knock that part out first. So in other words, if I have 5 1-drops on the board, I can do this effect. If I have a 3-cost and 2 1/1s on the board, that's 5 altogether, I can use the effect. If I have a single 5-cost character on the board, I can now do the effect, right? Because it's if the total cost of your characters is 5 or more. Anything 5 or greater, that's fine. We can use the effect. And what does it do? Listen to the first part of the effect, guys. It's actually more relevant than I think most people realize. The amount of tricks you're going to be able to do with this effect are actually incredible. Because watch this, guys. You can return one of your characters to your hand. The next part is reveal the top card of your life, and if that card is a Supernova type character card with a cost of 5 less, you can play it. You can play it. It doesn't say, I don't think you have to do it, guys. And when I was doing the testing, again, you have to be so careful with the translations and stuff like that on the sim and on random websites. Make sure it's the right translation when you actually go to do like rulings and stuff on it. But guys, when I was playing it in the sim, I could just pull back a character, reveal my top card. I might not even want to play the card. I might just want to pull back something like a searcher and just do it again. Right? Now, you do still have to have 5 or more costs on the board altogether, but just being able to pull back something like a searcher easily, or how's about swing with this card? We'll just swing in for 9k with this card, and then I will use the leader effect to pull him back to my hand, reveal my top life card. I might choose to play that even if I don't know what it is. If it's a 5-cost or lower Supernova character, I might choose to play it, or I might not. I might then just play this character out for the turn again after swinging with it and gain another life. So guys, understand right now that this is going to be a very high skill cap leader, okay? Very high skill, leader. How do you want to say that? Now, so that's what the leader does, right? Being able to cheat out of 5 costs from your life. Now, you are going down in life. That's very rough. But guys, after playing with it, I understand there's a tempo thing involved. It is very, very powerful. Now, real quick for the rest of the list, we are running a 1-cost blocker in here. It's a 1-cost, 1,000 power, 1k counter blocker if you have another yellow Supernova character on the board. Not a green one. I don't know why it had to be locked to yellow, but whatever. It is what it is. But hey, there are some pretty decent, characters in this deck that will stick around. Like Basil Hawkins will typically stick around. Well, actually, there's really just 2 in this one, right? Like in the other list we were looking at with Eustass Kid, you had the 7-cost Trafalgar Law, and you had the 8-cost Eustass Kid. So one of those is usually going to stick around so you get your full blocker potential. But guys, a 7-cost character, that gets past a lot of removal. Jozu, Gravity Blade Raging Tiger, those hit a 6 or less. So they're not hitting this. And a 9,000 power character, that even gets around the new Divine Departure card, the red card. It's basically pay 6, pop an 8,000 power character or less. So this is a very sticky character, and it does a lot of work. Okay. That's pretty much it, right? We had the Basil Hawkins. We talked about this yesterday. On KO, they trash a card, trigger, draw 2, trash 1. Just incredible. Luffy, this is a searcher. I wish more than anything they had made this like a yellow Nami searcher, making it a yellow Supernova Monkey D. Luffy searcher that cannot search up Luffy. That is very frustrating for us red-yellow Sabo players who are trying to make a Supernova package work. Man, that's very frustrating, right? But hey, it is what it is. It's still a great searcher. The 3-cost Zoro. I think I might have done a few adjustments in here. Maybe not, actually. I don't think I have in this list yet. But it's running 3 of the Zoro. This is a Rush Zoro if you have less life than your opponent. Not equal to or less, but less life than your opponent. This character has Rush. And then the trigger, trash a card, put him into play. Very, very solid card here. I like this one quite a bit. 2k counter X-Drake if you have... Now, this one is if you have equal to or less life than your opponent. You can rest this character to rest out of 4 or less. Very, very solid utility 2k counter. And then, of course, the main man, the star of the show, this card... Like I said, guys, Divine Departure and this card, probably my favorite cards of the set, and I don't even think there's a close third. Like, out of these 2, this one in Divine Departure, just absolutely incredible. He's a 7-cost 9k body, vanilla stats. On play, reveal a Supernova type character card from your hand and add it to your life cards face down. Then if your leader has a Supernova type, give up to 1 Rested Dawn to your leader. And for Eustass Kid, it was just 1 Dawn. Who cares about, right? I mean, it's just extra power, but it's not really relevant to an effect. For our leader, though, Green Yellow Law, yeah, it's absolutely perfect to play out on curve on your 7 Dawn play. And dropping a 7 cost 9k right on curve feels really good. And when you gain a life from it, it feels even better. And then when you get to swing 6 with it, it feels even better. And then you can potentially take that life away you just gained that you didn't have to begin with and throw it right into play. Very, very powerful stuff going on here, guys. Okay, now, that's the deck list. We're going to talk about this more at the end. I'll try to break it down again once we're done with the games. Let's go ahead and hop into the games, guys. We got 5 games to go over on the sim today. Okay, let me bring this up. Let me go full screen, move my face back over, and we're going to be good to go once we get there. Whoa, this thing's jumping around on me. Okay, perfect. Now, volume is off, speed is on 2x, and here we go, guys. We have a game, first game here against Eustass Kid. And remember, I had to give give out a disclaimer before each game. Everyone is new right now, guys. These leaders are new to us. We're playing new leaders for the first time. If you see a mistake, chill out. Let's not be aggressive with it. Let me pause right away here. Don't be attacking my opponents. Don't be attacking me. We just got access to this content or this material, the OP10 stuff, yesterday at the time you're recording this. So bear with us on that, okay, guys? Now, they're going to play out Luffy on turn 1. We did not have a turn 1 Luffy. They're going to, pass turn after doing their top 5 search with Luffy. Now, we went first. Green, yellow, Law, we went first. And now on our 3 Dawn, we are going to swing for 5 first with our character. We're going to play out the Zoro, swing for 5 with Rush because they have greater life than we do, right? We have less life than they do. So don't swing with your leader first. Swing with your character. Play out your character. Swing with that first for 5. Then we swing for 5 with the leader, and let's see what happens. Okay, so we're coming in for 5 here. They're going to 2k counter or 1k counter out of that. We're going to swing for 5 more. They 1k counter out again very aggressively with a Nami. That tells me they probably have another Nami in their hand. That is a very strong card. Where is he going to go with this 5k attack? It is very relevant. He's going to go into my body. We're going to give him a 1k counter. One thing I noticed in this deck, guys, is, maybe if I go second, it will change. But going first, Basil Hawkins is just a 1k counter. I rarely have time to play it because I have so many 5-cost characters. So I go from 3 Dawn to 5 Dawn. Basil Hawkins is not getting played much. I'm going to swing for 5. Let's see if he wants me to trash life with Basil Hawkins. I'm fine if he does. Okay, he did not want to do that. I'm going to swing for 5 more. Let's see what he does. And remember, guys, he made Basil Hawkins into a blocker with his leader's effect, okay? Okay, no problem. I am going to play out a Basil Hawkins here and then play out a Monkey D. Luffy. So I actually did get to play out this time because I think this is the only game I actually get to play out a Basil Hawkins because usually I have a Cavendish I can drop, a Restand Law for more attacks, or the Trafalgar Law to bounce people and do tricks with, right? But hey, that's okay. This time, though, like I said, generally speaking, though, I was not able to play out Basil Hawkins very much. Okay, we did a top search. Did we whiff the search? I'm sorry, guys. We do have to go back, or did we get that 2k counter with it? We got to go back real quick. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, I do end up grabbing a 2k counter because I have no counter power, guys. And I can at least put Bonnie into my life when next turn when I go for the 7-cost Dawn, the 7-cost Law play. I'll be able to put the Bonnie into my life and potentially lock down one of his characters or something, right? So I was fine with that because I get to keep tempo. However, this is not even a great pool. Let me say that right now, guys. We did not get the greatest pool I've ever seen. That's for sure. I got the 2k counter because I want him to be able. I want to force him to play something out this turn on curve, like a 5 or 6 Dawn play, and then when he goes to swing into my Zoro, I'm just going to aggressively 2k counter out and keep my tempo going. Because now I'm going to have a 5k, 5k, 5k swing. Okay, here he goes. He's going to swing for 5 at leader. Okay, interesting. So that tells me maybe he's going to pop my Zoro with something like a Nami, and he doesn't want to pop the Basil Hawkins maybe because that will make him lose a life. I'm going to 2k counter out just like I said I would, guys. Going to play out the Cavendish. Very interesting. Okay, he's going to reveal the top card of his life. It is a 7-cost Law like what we have, but guess what? We're just going to keep it aggressive, guys. This deck, it's not really controlling from what I've experienced, at least not this version. It goes very low to the ground. We want to keep tempo. We want to go aggro, and we want to be able to outpace our opponent. Because watch this, guys. I play out the 7-cost 9k to gain a life, but guess what we're going to do with it? We're going to swing for 6. He gives me the blocker, and we're actually going to just return that card. Pause. So that was our first leader interaction, for today's video. I attached a Dawn to my leader for free with the Trafalgar Law's effect. Now I have well over 5 costs worth of characters on the board. Now I swung for 6. He blocked, and I'm going to use the leader effect now to pull back 1 card from the field, my 1-cost Monkey D. Luffy, which is very nice, right? That's like with Blue Dofi, right? I want to return that card to my hand so I can get more value from it later and get actual card advantage. And then I'm going to play out a card from my life. So see, I didn't really gain a life. I basically used a 7 cost 9k body to cheat out a 5 cost 6k body with a very powerful effect. This Trafalgar Law with this leader is very fun. It is very strong. So now we're going to swing in for 6. I believe they took that. They're down to 3 now, and our board is stacked. They can't stand up the Cavendish. I mean, they can at the end of the turn with the leader effect, but they can't attack with it this turn. So I'm not losing any of my characters. I have a 2k and a 1k in hand. I'm probably not even going to let anything go. Oh, swing for 6 into 5. I could let this go, but at the same time, I was going to say, I think I should save it because I have so much tempo now. And remember, we saw he has a 7 cost 9k Trafalgar Law because he revealed it from his life with his leader's effect to stand his guy up. So I don't even care, right? Like, I literally don't even care about that 6k attack he did. Now, it should have been a 7k attack. Notice he learned that afterwards. Like, whoops, that should have been an attack for 7k, but he didn't want to telegraph his play. Guys, with the new 7 cost 9k Trafalgar Law, you're going to have to telegraph your play a little better. But if he had done that, I probably still would have 1k countered out, guys, because watch how aggressive this turn's about to be. But at the same time, okay, maybe not, because I do choose to use this right away. So I think I can use my Trafalgar Law's effect again this turn, right? Okay, so what are we going to grab here? It looks like I'm looking at the restand law. There's some ideas there for the restand law. Okay, so let's go ahead and swing in. We got a 5, 5, 6, 5, 9k attack coming in, right? We got three 5s, a 6, and a 9, but one of those 5s on my leader is going to be a 6 from the Trafalgar Law's effect. Okay, he did get a Zorro. That's pretty intimidating, right? Because now he can potentially try to crack back on us here. We're going to swing for 5. He counters out. We're going to swing for 6. We're actually going to do 7 to try to force it through because I have 1 extra Dawn for the turn, I believe. Now, watch this, guys. Some people might be intrigued by this next play. We'll call it intrigued. Right now, I'm considering, I think I want to play out the Law first and get my 6k swinging with my leader before the 9k, because then I could swing into his blocker. I think I should have done that, but oh well, we ended up not doing that. Okay. So right here, we're going to play this out, and I really don't want to get rid of my 1-cost Luffy, right? I get rid of the Zorro, because now I'm going to set the another Bonnie to the top of my life. I'm going to pull this card back, play out the Bonnie. I will keep one of his Dawn rested, so now he can't play out a 10-cost Ace. And now I'm going to swing for 6 with my leader and then 9 with the other guy. So notice what we did there. We shut off his 10 Dawn play if he's running 10-cost Ace, and my board is very strong. He's going to swing 8 into 6, 9 into 9, and you're not getting that. It looks like he's probably going to have a 9 Dawn play here, maybe Yamato or something. But if he can't even play out Yamato right now to pop my Basil Hawkins, he'll lose a life, right? I mean, he's in a very, very tough situation here. Okay, here we go. They play out a Zorro. They do have Rush. Maybe they should have tried to go for game this turn. I'm not saying they should have, but I mean, there was an option there to just go for game. Because it could have been, okay, he's going to swing in there. I am going to have to let that go, unfortunately. But he needs to give a card blocker this turn. Okay, so now he's going to swing 6 into what? I think he has to go life. I mean, he has no other thing to go into right now. He just passes because he didn't want to give me a life card. He has a 9k blocker, but I just simply don't think it will matter. Okay, swinging for 9. What are you going to give me? He's going to give me a 2k, 2k, 1k. Okay, and that right there, guys, I think that's going to be game, right? Because watch this. We'll swing 7, and then we'll swing. So let me pause and explain lethal before the game even ends. Swinging for 7 right here means he has to give me the blocker, or he has to take the life, right? Then he has 2 cards in hand. Taking the life was the right play here, by the way, but it doesn't matter because I still have enough Dawn to go swing 9, swing 9. One will get the blocker, the next will go to life. So good game to my opponent here. We'll just go ahead and watch it play out. He takes it, and I'm like, okay. He took it. That was the right play. So now I'm going to swing 9, swing 10. And again, he can't get out of it with only 2 cards. And look, he did have an ace, guys. He did have an ace. We locked him out of that play. The Jory Bonnie, even though we couldn't lock down the blocker, it was still not a waste because it stopped him from gaining a life. That 5 cost 6k Jory Bonnie is very strong in this deck, but it's not even the strongest card, guys. You did not even get to see Cavendish that game. You did not even get to see the restand law in action, right? Okay. Good game to my opponent there. Let's go to the next one. So that was against Eustass Kid. Now there's another game against Eustass Kid here. This is not the same game. And I think you're going to see as games go on, you'll start to notice I think I get way more comfortable with my play lines because this was a very technical deck to learn. Very, very technical deck to learn. I love it. I really like it. We'll see, guys. Maybe this becomes my next main on the channel. Like, once we're, Red Yellow Sabo is always going to be special to me. You guys know that. But maybe this will be, like, a deck I start playing on the side as well. Okay, they're going to play out a Monkey D. Luffy. They're going to do a top search. I wish I'd revealed it, but sometimes I forget to show it so you guys can see what it is afterwards, because I have the entire thing recorded with an overlay on. Okay, we did a top search on our turn 1. We're going to play out Jory Bonnie. That's another thing that's really nice about this deck compared to Eustass Kid is we get 2 extremely powerful searchers. We're just filling out the board. Now he can't really get rid of all my 1-cost characters, and with my leader effect, those cards will be extra value in the future, right? Just like how Blue Dofi uses it with Trafalgar Law bouncing the searchers back. Okay, I didn't see we've got 2 7-cost 9Ks. We got 2 5-cost cards. We have, and then we have 2 2K counters. We are completely stacked right now, guys. We are in a very good spot. The only thing that could have made this better is if instead of the 5-cost restand law, we had like a 5-cost Cavendish. That's the only thing that could have really made this better. They go 2 into 1. I'm fine with that. I don't care at all. And we're going to let that go. It acts as, it already did its thing. And now we can swing into his 2K body, which is really nice. All right, they have 4 Dawn left. They're going to play out a Basil Hawkins. They're probably going to give it blocker. That's typically what Eustass Kid likes to do. The yellow Eustass Kid deck likes to do. Swinging in for 5, really considering giving him a 2K counter here. Yeah, I don't think I should give him a 5-cost, but a 2K counter for sure. Okay, so now his blocker... So now I'm going to swing 2 into 2. Let's see what he wants to do. That rhymed. Incredible. Okay, he lets it go very wisely because it would just be getting free cards out of hand, right? Because these these little 2K bodies, they're not that relevant to what we're doing. So, it wouldn't even be that bad. Okay, here we go. So we're going to swing in for 5. I'm seeing if he wants to make me lose a life already or if he wants to save the blocker for later. Okay, but either way, you have to swing into it, right, guys? I don't think I would just... unless it's like a game-ending, a game-losing play, just swing in. Early on, I don't care if I lose a life now because I'll at least have another, I have one of his characters off the board, right? The card does not go to hand. It does trash the card, but it's one more character he has off the board. Perfect. Okay, now we're going to lock down his Dawn. We're going to pass the turn. That Jory Bonnie, really big fan of that card in this deck. It actually it gets a lot of mileage. So he basically only has a 3 Dawn turn now. We just had a 5 Dawn turn, or excuse me, now he will have a 5 Dawn. I was going to say, wait a minute, that's not right. So yeah, he has a 5 Dawn turn. It should have been a 6 Dawn turn. Okay, so we just slowed him down to our pace. He gets rid of the 2K, the 2000, the Searcher, Luffy. Perfect. We didn't care at all about that anyway. Okay, here we go, guys. He's going to play out an Uruge. He's going to give that blocker more than likely, and then he can swing in with Basil Hawkins. He'll swing in for 5 here. I get the Uruge, by the way, guys. It's for the Dofi matchup, right? It's something you can give blocker to so that Dofi can't just bounce it right away, and you get to, protect your board. But here we go, guys. I'm going to swing in for 6. Let's see what he wants to do. I have to do this in the correct order. He is going to 2K counter out of that. I'm going to play out my Trafalgar Law 7-cost 9K. I'm up to 5 life, but that's not going to be for long. I'm going to return my 1-cost Searcher back to hand, cheating out the Trafalgar Law. We're swinging in for 6 now. Now he's probably starting to wish he had used the Uruge as the blocker instead, so he'd have one extra thing to, one extra character there to, or how do I say this? It'd be easier to block. I'll just say that. We're swinging in for 6 more. He's giving me 2 2K counters this turn. Now he's going to play out the Basil Hawkins. He trashes my top life. It is a Trafalgar Law that restands. That was unfortunate for sure. But hey, not the biggest deal in the world. It's not the worst thing that could happen. Okay, so here we go. One thing I want to mention while we're just sitting here waiting for my opponent to make up their play here. Are we not in speed 2x? Yeah, we are. We are in 2x speed. People are learning. Like I said, guys, let's be patient with everybody. They're going to swing 8 into 6 here. I'm going to let that go. Yeah, give me life. Attack enemy and give me life cards at this point. But one thing I want to say is the 5-cost 6K, I trashed my own life. They did a Soul Pocus. Not worried at all, guys. I can gain life in my hand, and I can choose not to do tempo. But instead, I'm just developing these massive bodies. Here we go. Okay, so right here, we're going to do the Searcher. Oh, man, here we go, guys. Oh, so here's what I was going to say. You see the 5-cost 6K in my search right now? The one that can pull back a character and then play out a 3-cost or less? I didn't get a lot of value out of that card. That was one thing I noticed is I really didn't get a ton of value out of that card this game. Okay, let's see what he does here. So I'm going 9 into 7, and I have no Dawn invested. He has to just give me 2 cards from hand. Okay, well, if that's the case, we're going to go 7 into 7. Do you want to give me more cards in hand? Now, watch this. He does. Okay, well, I have a backup play here. Let's see if I choose to do it. I'm going to tell you the right play. Okay, it looks like, again, it looks like I'm still learning how to play the deck. I'm going to pause and tell you the right play, guys, because I don't remember what I do here. The correct play here, I have 7 Dawn, right? Let me make sure I did the math right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I have 7 Dawn. The correct play here, every time, is going to be to play out the 7-cost dude, the 7-cost Trafalgar Law from hand, putting the Joribani into my life. I get to add a free Dawn to my leader from the effect of Trafalgar Law, the 7 cost, and then I can cheat that card into play and lock down his Rouge, and I can just swing 6 at face. He can have that 7 cost 9k. I will say this, though. He'll be on a 10 Dawn turn next turn, so there's even some logic here to not even care about the Rouge and actually just hit him in the life, or hit him in the Dawn again, where now he can't do his 10 Dawn play. There is a real legitimate idea to do that. Okay, but here we go. Let's see what happens. It looks like, again, guys, I feel crazy if I don't do that play. Okay, am I doing it? We're doing it, guys. We're doing it. Again, this was probably like my 3rd or 4th time even playing the leader, so I'm trying to figure all this out on the fly. We pull back the Searcher. Excellent. Lock down the Rouge, but I forgot to swing for 6. That was a mistake. Whoopsie daisy. We did forget to swing for 6 at the end there. But that's okay. Maybe he thinks I'm trying to keep him from gaining life, and it also means he can't restand his character unless he gains life this turn. But like I said, there you go. Case in point, he is on 10 Dawn, so he can gain the life back, and he can restand the character. It was just a mistake, guys. I should have swung for 6 with the leader. They swing for 5. I will 1k counter out of that. I don't want to take life for no reason. Uh-oh. Well, so, guys, notice what's going on here. Those are 2 dead cards at the top of his life. Like, those are not counters. So these 2 9k attacks can probably go through for free. Just for free, right? So let's see what happens here. Let's see how I deal with this turn. Because the question is, can I survive next turn? Maybe. I do have a 1-cost blocker in my hand. Maybe. Okay, here we go. Coming in for 9. We're going to get these attacks out of the... excuse me, I should have done 7s first, actually. I should have gone 7k, 7k, 9k, 9k, and see what he did from there. But that's okay. We're going to go in for 9s here just to get this over with, see what he wants to do. Because he doesn't know. Maybe I want to go 9, 9, 9s just all the way through, right? Because I could literally go 5 9s this turn. Like, that's an actual thing I can do. Okay, countering out to save that, now I have a new target. I was very, very happy to see that. Because now we can go 7 into 7. I know 1 card in your hand is dead. So do you want to give me your last counter in hand? If he has it, he does. Okay, perfect. This one we know is going through. Unless he had used a 0-cost 3k, right? And he did not. All right, so now we have this idea here. We're still not, you know, he can still go all in lethal this turn and like beat me, right? So I have to be very careful. Again, I'm not attacking his life for whatever reason. I think I'm trying to prevent him from getting blocker. I don't really quite understand the logic there. He accidentally passed the turn back. This game kind of ended abruptly, but I think it's over because, okay, he could gain a life here. So play out Trafalgar Law, gain a life. But then on the next turn, I think I just go all in, right? I think I literally just save my blocker. I take the hit, get the Cavendish, whatever. Or I could just block out and counter out of the, what would be a, well, no, it'd be like a 9k attack. Yeah, I'd have to take 1 life and block out of the other. And then on this next turn, I would be forced to go all in, right? I have to go all in. He would get a blocker with this Trafalgar Law. But what we would do, now that he has no cards in hand, it would be swing 5 with leader. That's either going through or he has to use his blocker right away, right? Let's just assume it goes through. We know it's an Rouge because he would reveal that with his Eustass Kid's effect, okay? Well, I know it's only a 1k, so now I'm going to swing in for 6 with Trafalgar Law. Okay, that gets this next card. Swing in for 6 more with the Joribani because, again, we know their cards, right? We know what's in their hand. So now they're down to 2 life left, and at that point, I think we would have to go, well, see, we would be like 1 short. We would have had to find a way to survive here, or take out his board, or do something like that. So again, this person left a little bit abruptly. I think they accidentally passed turn is what the problem was. I think that's what it was. They passed the, oh, okay, hang on, guys. That's what happened. So watch this. So right here, we know they have a Trafalgar Law, and they draw for the turn. Watch this, though. They double click, and they pass the turn, and then they just quit. I was like, what? I went to type to them. I don't know if you saw my mouse at the bottom there. Look, watch my mouse go under my VV3 name right here. Whoop. Yeah, it went right under there, and I was ready to type to them, but they had already left. I was like, hey, what happened? You know, and he actually sent it. But he definitely could have still won this game. That's for sure. That's definitely for sure. But let's also just be honest. I should have been attacking my leader like 2 times in a row, where my opponent would only be on like 2 life right now. So mistakes everywhere. This guy actually sending his turn back, and then, you know, me not swinging 2 turns in a row. My leader makes no sense at all. I'm not defending that logic at all, guys. Okay, let's go speed 2x. And volume's off. Here we go. We got a game versus Blue-Black Usopp, guys. Blue-Black Usopp is live in action. Let me go ahead and say that right now. After today's video, tomorrow's video, I do have some Blue-Black Usopp action lined up for you. And then after that, we may or may not have some purple-yellow crocodile action lined up. Maybe, just maybe. Okay? But anyway, let me not get too far ahead of myself. Tomorrow's definitely blue-black Usopp for the channel. All right, so we got we get a early search. They get an early stage. Nothing too crazy going on here. Okay, now we're on my 3-Dawn turn. I'm going to play out the Monkey D. Luffy, and I'm going to swing 7. So I've played out 2 1-cost Luffys at this point. I'm swinging for 7. It's smart to take that this early on, but maybe not with this leader, right? Because whenever you lose a character, you draw a card. He's going to swing in for 5. I don't want to take life aggressively. I want to use my life aggressively to my advantage for tempo purposes. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to actually just do a face check for 5. Let's see what he gives me. He gives me a 2K counter. We'll take it. We'll lock down one of his Dawn and pass the turn. Tempo Jewelry Bonnie in this deck feels very, very good going first, guys. Going second, maybe not as much. I don't know, but I don't think it would have changed. I would have just swung 6 and done the same thing, I think. They play out a Cavendish. We have no character sideways, so even though they have the stage, they cannot attack into it. They do have a Rebecca now. They have a Frankie blocker from the turn before, and here we go. So I'm on my 7-Dawn turn. I'm getting very comfortable with this play, guys. Okay, we're going to swing for 6 first. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so now I'm going to play out the Trafalgar Law. We're going to, I think I should push the Cavendish into life. Excellent. Now attach a Dawn for free to my leader, pull back a 1-cost Searcher, play out the Cavendish from life that I just put there with Trafalgar Law. I'm going to swing in for 7 with my leader because I gained an extra Dawn for the Cavendish effect. He blocks the 7K with Frankie, pulls out a Bartolomeo from the trash. I'm going 3 into it. Let's see if he wants to give me a card from hand. Gives me a 2K counter to defend that with the 3K attack I did with my Luffy on the board. I have a 5-cost 6K Bonnie, 5-cost 6K Cavendish, and a 7-cost 9K Trafalgar Law. I'm at 3 life. We're looking very good this turn. Now, he does get Cavendish here. He's going to get some value. Draw 2 trash one, gets rid of a stage. But I'm going to save my character if I can. My opponent has 8 Dawn this turn. They might try to play a Gecko Moria or even play a 7-cost Rebecca. We'll have to see what they do. Okay. They're going to play out the 6-cost 7K Secret Rare Monkey D. Luffy. Let's go ahead and pause and read this card. It's a 6-cost 7K with a 1K counter. It's Dressrosa Supernova Straw Hat Crew character, right? It's black, and it has once per turn. This character cannot be KO'd by effects. Now you can still run into him in battle and knock him out, right? But he cannot be KO'd by effects once per turn. And then when attacking, hey, he's Dressrosa. He just gets to attack right away against me. When attacking, you may place 3 cards from your trash to the bottom of your deck in any order. Then if your opponent has 5 or more cards in their hand, they have to trash a card from their hand. Okay, so he loaded up 2 Dawn. He's swinging, or 1 Dawn, excuse me. He's swinging 8 into 6 here. Let's see what happens. This is less than ideal, but I really want to save this card. So I trashed the Trafalgar Law, the 5-cost blocker law. I trashed that in my hand. But guys, I really want to save this Bonnie and keep up pressure because he's starting to get really, really strong with the board. I end up taking that. I think that might have been a mistake because I did have counter power in hand to save it and from the 6K leader attack. Not a big deal. I get to save 3 cards in hand with that play, but I do lose a life card. I'm going to swing 10 into 7. Let's see what he does here. I'm sure he's just going to use the blocker. Okay, he uses the blocker. He gets to draw a card from that, I believe. Actually, hang on a second. He had, he had 5 cards in hand. So when I swing in, he's going to block with it. He gets to draw a card from the leader effect. And here we go. I do not have another. Remember, guys, you cannot play out multiple Cavendishes. I mean, you can if you want to, but you'll lose the effect. You can only do his Dawn effect if you have only 1 Cavendish on the board. So I swung for 10 with my first attack with the Trafalgar Law for no reason. I wish I hadn't done that. But that's okay. We're going to swing in for 9 more with the Cavendish. We restood it with the Trafalgar Law. Beautiful. We're swinging in for 6. And, yep, swinging for, actually, we swung in for 7 into a 6. And that should have been an 8. That should have been an 8 into 6 if I had, if I had done the math correctly there. It's okay, though. It happens. It happens. Because I could have paused. All right, we have to talk about how non-optimal that play was. Okay, watch this, guys. Let me show you how bad that play was and how, again, guys, I'm still getting used to this, to the new deck. So watch this. For 5 Dawn, this is what I could have done. But, okay, we're going back to the beginning of this turn. We're literally going back to the beginning of this turn. It's that relevant. Right here, I have 9 Dawn. I should have swung 9 into 7, but for some reason, I thought that was a 6-cost 8K Luffy. No, it's a 6-cost 7K with a 1K counter. So the stats still do make sense. But okay, I end up attaching a Dawn to the 7-cost Law and swinging 10 into 7. Why? What was the logic there? I don't understand. It was a bad play, period. And watch what happens. I get punished for it. He just blocks out anyway with the Bartolomeo. which was a good call. That was a good play by my opponent, because now they get to draw a card from that, and they negate the attack. Now watch this. What I should have done right here is played out my 1-cost blocker Apu and my 1-cost searcher Luffy. Play both of those out real quick, so I get a free attack off with my Cavendish, right? Because that 2 Dawn's going to be restanding. Okay, but watch what happens. Okay, so I attach 3, right? Or I think I attached 3. Yep. I attach 3. Let me make sure we're on 2x speed. I'm pretty sure we are. Yep. I swing 9 into 7, and he has to let it. He does a 2k, 1k. That's right. And now what I could have done is that would have stood up the 2 Dawn. I would still have the 5 Dawn left. I would actually have 6 Dawn left, because I should have had the Dawn on the Trafalgar Law. I would stand up the Cavendish, smash in, get the 2 extra Dawn, and I'd have the 1 remaining Dawn to go 8 into 6. So again, what could have been an absolutely pristine, immaculate turn right there, just total control of the board and hand, ended up being just subpar, right? Because we made that one blunder. But hey, like I said, this is a very technical deck, and it's a good thing that we're, these are good videos to go over to learn from, even though I make these big mistakes. Okay, this guy's about to go in for 10 into 6, and I was really considering saving that card, guys, but it would have took my whole hand, and he could have got it with the Usopp afterwards. We let that card go. Let's see what happens. Now he's going to swing 8 into 5. Oh, man, that Cavendish, guys, is so nice. Draw 2, trash 1, on attack, once per turn. So good. Okay, we can lock it down now. Did you guys see what I just got? But we might just be able to swing into it first. Let's do a face check with the Trafalgar Law. Let's just smack into the Cavendish, and we could just lock down the Kairos. Okay, because they did play out a 7-cost Kairos, pushing back one of my cards. We're going to go 9 into 6. He has 3 cards in hand. That would take his entire hand, pretty much. Okay, he does draw a card from the leader effect. He lets it go. We'll play out the Luffy here. We're going to grab a 2k counter beige. This will allow me to do some tricks with my life if I need to, but I don't think I'll need to. We'll talk about that in a minute. Play out the Scratchman of Pooh. Now I have a blocker. I'm going to swing in for 5. He's going to 1k counter out. I'm going to lock down the Kairos. That throws a wrench in his plans, right? And I'm also starting to accumulate some pretty good counter power in hand. I have 2 2ks and 3 1ks. I have a pretty decent amount of counter power in hand. Okay. And I have 1 life, and I have a 1-cost blocker. The 1-cost blocker is probably not going to survive for very long, but hey, it's still there. The card's still there. Okay, that restand Law, though, could come in very handy. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Okay, but he's going to come in for 11k. So I'm going to give a 1k. What did I just do? Hang on, what did I just do there? Oh, I had to discard a card, excuse me. I had to discard a card from the attack, and then I blocked out of the attack. He's going to come in for 5. We're going to counter out of that one. And here we go, guys. It might be time. It might just be time to go all in here. Let's see what happens. I could still go for the board. I could search for a blocker and still go for the board. That is a real option. But let's see what happens here. So again, as you can see, I'm taking a lot of time here because I'm not sure how I want to do this. Okay, I'm going to go 9 into 7. Can he survive that? Probably not. So he actually cannot survive that. And now we are going to probably try to go for this Kairos. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, I'm doing a lot of thinking. I'm going to tell you what I should have done after this, what I think I should have done. Okay, we'll go 9 into this guy. All right. Okay, so he does end up saving that card. Now we're going to play out the Trafalgar Law, and we're going to smash for 6 into face here. He does take that, and now we're going everything 13 into 9 here to get rid of that Kairos. We're going to swing 5 into face with the leader and wrap up that way. Now, let's talk about another possible play line there, guys. That might have been a little bit of fun, okay? It might have been a little bit of fun. So watch this. 9 into 7, that was real cute, right? Okay, yeah, that's nice. But what we probably should have done here, hear me out. It would have been fun. It would have been fun. I can't say that enough. He has 3 life. Well, I have 5 attacks. And watch what I could do. The first thing I could do here is actually swing 7 with my Jewelry Bonnie. Right? Swing 7 with Jewelry Bonnie. That's a 1 Dawn investment so far. I still have 9 Dawn to work with at face. Not at the character, at face. Okay? He might choose to take that. If he does, what we do next is we play out the... let me see. Hang on. Let me try to do all this math in my head. So I don't think we're going to get like full value from our beige this turn. So let's not even worry about the actual perfect consistency of like Dawn and everything we need there. What we could then do is like load 4 Dawn on our leader. swing for 9, right? Swing for 9 with our leader. Now we would have, that would be 5 Dawn. We still have 5 Dawn left. Swing for 9 with our Trafalgar Law. So remember, we swung 7 with Bonnie, 9 with our leader, 9 with Trafalgar Law. And then, you ready for this? Okay, set our top life card with beige. Set our top life card with beige to the restand Law, right? Now, swing for the 9 or 10 or whatever's left with our beige, or with our Cavendish, swing at face, and then use the leader effect, pull back the beige, and play the restand Law on the Cavendish, because he's stacked up to 9 or 10 or whatever it is at that point, or he might have been at 10 or 11, and then we can attach one more Dawn to him from the first time he swung from playing out the beige, and it would have been another attack for like 10 or 11 or whatever it would have been. It would have been 11, I believe. So, guys, what we could have had was a 7, 9, 9, 10, 11. That would have been kind of cool, and I think it would have won because he only has 3 cards in hand, and he only has 3 life. Only 4 of the attacks have to get through, and one of those extra attacks is like a, an 11. It'd be a swing 10, swing 11 at the end. I think that would have had potential, but hey, we went with the safer route. We actually go for the board. I'm going to fast forward a little bit back to where we were. We smashed into the Kairos. He's gone. Tell me what play y'all would have done in the comment section, guys. Would y'all have gone for that play? Because, hey, there's an idea right now where this guy could just go swing 9, swing, wait, no, it would be swing. So let's do the math. For those who might be new and you want to know how to calculate lethal between 2 characters like this, you add up the power of both character and leader, like both attacking bodies, which would be 5,000 and 2,000, so 7,000, and then add your Dawn to that, which is 17,000. So divide that by 2, it ends up being 8.5. Okay, so that means an 8K and a 9K attack. That's all he's going to have access to, and he could choose to do that, but I have the math in my hand to get out of that. The only concern for, and he's going to go swing 8, swing 9. So the only concern for me was if the Kairos had survived. So we get out of that one to force him into this attack. So I have a clear board to swing into, and we're going to fully counter out. And that, of course, is game. Let's look at his hand. My other strategy would have worked completely fine, guys. He had no counter power in hand. Well, he does get a 1K and a 2K out of life, but what does it matter when you're coming in for a 9K and then a 10K and then an 11K? Like, that would have just been absolutely massive. Okay, that was the first 3 games. Now we got a game versus Green Purple Lim, guys. Green Purple Lim. We're doing a lot of pausing and talking about these games, guys, because this is a very technical leader, and it's very rewarding for skilled play. It really does reward skilled play and, optimizing your turns fully. Very hard leader to play, though. I really like it. That's what I really like about it. Okay, and by this time, I think I was about 10 games deep, guys. Or maybe like, I don't know, maybe like 6 or 7 games deep. And it was like, okay, now I'm starting to really understand this leader. It's starting to make sense to me. And I'd also seen people playing it as well. So it's like, oh, I see what they're doing. So they're going to cheat out the Sabo with Lim right on turn 2 for them, which is what they always want to do. We got to go first, so they're on an awkward even curve. Now they're back to odd from the leader effect. We're going to go 6 into 6 and 6 into 6. Let's see if he chooses to save it. He does. So real quick, guys, my turn 1 play, let me pause and talk about it. Turn 1 was Luffy. Turn 2 was Zoro, swinging for 5, the 3 cost 4K character, right? And in fact, no, I couldn't swing in for 5 the first time. I think, did I just play this card out? No, I didn't, because I played out Cavendish for this turn. So I played out the 3 cost 5K Luffy, and I just had to pass the turn, right? Or no, I got it from life. I was like, wait a minute, guys. I was yapping so much. I was like, where did this card come from? So I play out the Zoro from life. I took the hit. I go down to 3 life. Then on this turn, I'm going to play out the Cavendish. I get 2 Standing Dawn from that. Swing 6 into 6 with the Zoro. Swing 6 into 6 with the leader is what it's going to be. Okay, volume is off. Let me make sure the speed was, yeah, speed's on 2x. Okay, so we got 2 cards out of his hand here, or the card off the board. Let's see what happens. They're going to give me a 2K counter to get out of that 6 into 6 attack there. We'll take it. And then I'm going to, whoa, did you guys see what just happened? I don't know. Leader effect. Blind leader effect. Hear me out. Okay. I just used the leader effect because I wanted to get my Monkey D. Luffy back to my hand. That's the only logic there. I just wanted that Luffy back to my hand so I could play it out later, right? It was aggressive, and I should have kept it on the board for next turn because I have like a perfect 7 Dawn play, but at the same time, I have Cavendish on the board. So I can still very easily play out that Luffy if I need to after swinging with Cavendish, well, after playing my 7 cost character. So I just blind return a card back to my hand, which was the 1 cost Luffy, revealed my top life card, and now I can choose to play that card or not. Or I could leave it there, right, for draw 2, trash 1. But I could also play it and get a very relevant attacking body. Let's see what I choose to do. We're going to play the card, and let's see what happens next. I'm pretty sure you can choose to not play the card out, by the way, but I could be wrong about that. I'll have to check the rules on that later, guys. I don't know off the top of my head, and I don't ever want to mislead you guys. Guys, I have a 2K and 2 1Ks in hand, so if he's going to try to get really greedy, or I have 3 1Ks, but one I'm going to use for sure next turn. If he wants to get greedy and try to go 5-6 into my guy, that's not going to go well for him. It's not going to go well for him. He plays out a limb, the 3-cost Searcher limb, with the just playing it out normal, not using the leader effect, because they don't need to. It's 3 Dawn. They're going to do a top 5 search here. Let's see what they get. They get a 5-cost Doflamingo. They're going to cheat out the Doflamingo. Oh, no. They cheat out. Okay, pause. They cheat out the new Edward Newgate. Edward Newgate is a 6-cost, excuse me, it's a 5-cost 6K with a 1K counter, Odyssey searchable, of course. And it has on play, rest up to 1 5-cost or lower character, and then KO a 3-cost or lower character. Very interesting effect there, guys. Very interesting effect. I'm going to 1K counter out of this. You're not getting my Cavendish. He does not want to swing into my life because he knows I'm running triggers. Watch this. Okay, attach a, excuse me, what did I put on top? Was it Restand Law? Yes, it was. We're gonna play out the 7-cost 9K. Pause. Putting the Restand Law on my life. Attaching a Dawn for free to my leader. I still have the Cavendish swing for this turn, so that way I don't have to return one of these cards back to my hand if I don't want to. So let's see what I choose to do here. I'm probably going to swing first, though. We'll swing 6 into 6 here. Hey, do you want to keep this card alive? He does, because it has draw power. Swing 6 into it with Cavendish. Now I have 2 extra Dawn. Watch this, guys. This is where the deck gets really nasty. We're going to go 6 into this guy. He thinks my turn's almost over, right? Okay, I survived. No. I'm going to play out this Luffy. I'm going to grab whatever card I want to, probably a 2K counter. I agree with that. And now I'm going to return the card back, cheating out the top life card I set there. I'm going to swing 6 more into your guy here, and then I'm going to replay out my Luffy. I had 1 extra Dawn I could have used there. I probably could have played that slightly better, but not much. But hey, we got there. We had 1 extra 1,000 power that we should have played out this turn that we didn't. All right, they're going to play out ADO. They're going to play out the limb. They have no Dawn active to use the ADO's effect. This guy is not in good shape. We're going to go ahead and take that aggressively, and then I think we're going to counter out of this one. Seems good. And here we go, guys. I think it's time to just go face. Face is the place. Doing a little bit of math right here. As you can see, I'm like going over my cards like, okay, what all can I do here? Because I have Cavendish. I don't have another Restand Law. Now, they do just give up, unfortunately. But the idea was going to probably be here to actually go for lethal. They have 0 counter in hand. It looks like they're going to have a 1K, a 2K, and a 2K out of life. But will that be enough? I don't think so. Maybe it would have been. But this is what my 5 attacks were going to be. It was going to be 7, 7, 7... Hang on, let me do the math one more time, because I actually have the Cavendish, but it complicates it, because what I could have done here is gotten a free 5K attack in with my Cavendish. Oh, and look what my card... So this is what the play was, guys, here. This is the funny part. My play here was going to be go for face, because I can't eat up this board anymore, and, like, you know, I don't have I just can't make it work when I have my hand. I would rather just try to go for lethal here. So I'm not going to go for board. I'm going for face. And this is how it would have looked. Okay. It would have been attach 3 Dawn to Luffy, right? And I want to get a 5K poke in because I'm going to put a Dawn on my leader and return the Luffy back to my hand to put 3 Dawn rested, right? And then I can stand those Dawn up with my Cavendish afterwards. Do you see what I'm saying? So I basically have to invest 1 Dawn to get a 5K attack out of their hand, or to get a 1K counter out of their hand. But look what my top card was going to be that I revealed. That would have been nasty. I have to remember that for the future. I have to make sure if I'm going to try to do a play like that, where I swing with a potential restand target with the Law, because that would put me at 6 attacks. Brutal, guys. Really liking this deck. This is so much fun. But just to give everybody a heads up, the way that turn would have gone would have been swing for 5 with the leader. Yeah, see, that's the tricky part. Or swing for 5 with the Luffy. So attach 3 Dawn to the 1-cost Luffy. Swing 5. It was actually going to go through because he has no counter power in hand. And then it would have been swing 7 with Trafalgar Law. That's what I should do here. Then attach a Dawn to my leader. Pull back the Luffy. Get 3 Dawn rested from that. Reveal my top card. And I would choose to play it and stand the other Trafalgar Law. That would have been absolutely brutal, guys. It could restand itself, right? I think it can. Either way, really good game to my opponent there. Green Purple Lim's got some potential, but this combo stuff going on here is just absolutely outrageous. All right, we got one more game, guys. This one's against Blue Black Usopp. Another game versus Usopp. I think this one was a pretty good one. I think this one was the best game I had out of all 5 of them, out of all the green-yellow Law games I had so far, and it really kind of showed that this deck can actually hang in there against really solid pools. So I'm going to start off with a Searcher. They're going to start off with a stage. I went first. They're going second stage, nothing else. I played out another Searcher on turn 2. I think I grabbed a Cavendish. I'm going to swing for 5. They choose to not attack into my Jewelry Bonnie that's tapped. Okay. Oh, because they have a Cavendish. They're going to play out the Cavendish, draw 2 trash one. They're immediately fixing their hand, cleaning up my board. Seems pretty good, but we're going to play out a Cavendish of our own here, and then we're going to we grabbed a Restand Law, we set our cards, and now I've got 1 Dawn left for the turn. We're going to go 6 and a 6, I think, here. Oh, we're going to pull this back? Okay, hang on. So watch this, guys. So check this out. So right here, I choose to use the leader effect. I reveal a X-Drake, and I am going to not play it. So I pulled back my Luffy just to get it back to my hand, and I show an X-Drake, and then we go from there. So now I know an X-Drake is coming, and now we're going to swing 6 into face. This gets a 2K counter out of his hand. In this situation, it's good to get a higher counter power out of hand or get him down lower in life. He's going to swing for 6 into 5, draw 2, trash 1 again with that Cavendish. Absolutely brutal. You hate to see it. And we did we counter out? What did we do? We took it. I think we took that and got the X-Drake. He's going to play out a Leo. Let's see what he does with that. He's going to do it. You get to look for 2 cards. He chooses not to attack with his leader there. Not sure if that was the correct logic or not. We're going to set our top life card with a 7 cost 9K. We're going to attack 6 into 6 here. Standing 2 Dawn with the Cavendish. We're going to swing... we're going to pull this card back, restand this, swing 6 more into 6. He has to give me a 2K counter to get out of that. We're going to swing 9 into 6, hoping for the best. It goes through. Play out the Luffy we pulled back. And yeah, guys, at this point, it's feeling really good. That kind of interaction there, it feels good, guys. It feels really good. So they play out, they attack him with the other Cavendish they had, or they play out another one. No, I don't know what just happened. Why did they, oh, they couldn't attack with this one. That was the one from last turn. Pause. Lots going on. So that Cavendish was, it did not attack last turn, so I couldn't even attack into it. But we ran out of attacks anyway, right? But here's the thing. He had that Cavendish. That's how he's going to start this turn off. Let me let it go. They're going to start off with a 6K attack into my 6K body. We are going to 1K counter out of that every time. We're not going to let him have that. He can't have that. Not for free. Swings for 6 more into it. But watch this, guys. Really strong play here. Bounces the Trafalgar Law. And he thinks, okay, I'm going to swing 9 into 6 and get it for sure. No, you're not. Cavendish, I'm not letting that card go under any circumstance unless I have literally no other option. The card is simply too valuable. Now, here we go. I think we're going to play out a Law. Yep, he pushed the Restand Law to my hand. I'm swinging 6 into 6 here. He gives me a counter. I'm going to pull this card back, restand with Law. We're going in for 6 more. Or actually, we're going in for 8 this time. Restand 2. That card's gone. And now we have 3 Dawn left for the turn. I think we're just going to swing in for 8 into face and play out another Searcher. Yeah, that's starting to feel nice, guys. If you're not, like, I will say this blue-black Usopp is very strong, how it can bounce cards back to hand. But if you're not KOing my cards where I don't get the value from them again, I don't really mind too much when you bounce it back to my hand unless, unless it's like to go for game or something. But yeah, so okay, so he's going to swing 9 into my Cavendish. He finally gets that card off the board, but the damage has been done. I've had like 2, 12 and 13 Dawn turns in a row now. It's just too much. He's going to play out a Kairos, bouncing back the Restand Law again, guys. I mean, hey, I'll use it as a 1K counter, I guess. He swings 5 in a face. I think we're going to take this. I think we should aggressively take this one. We do. We get a Jewelry Bonnie. Absolutely perfect. Well, guess what? He has 7 cost 9Ks on the board. So do I. I also have 7 cost 9Ks on the board. And I have a Jewelry Bonnie in my hand. I'm going to probably play out to lock down his Kairos, right? Okay, we actually get a different play here. That changes things. We do get a 7 cost 9K Trafalgar Law. So now we're going to go 9 into face. Now things are changing. Watch this, guys. 9 into face, 9 into face. He should have blocked the one before, I think, and used a counter from hand to just draw a card to cycle. But that's okay. Not a big deal. Like I said, we're all learning here. We're all learning together. Okay, pull back. What did I pull back? Hang on one second. I didn't even... I didn't have to pull back a card yet. Okay, sorry. Yeah, so I play out the 9 cost. I don't have to pull back the card yet. I'm going to set a Jewelry Bonnie to the top of my life. Now I'm going to attach a Dawn to my leader. I'm going to pull back this Luffy, play back the Jewelry Bonnie, and we're probably going to play out a blocker here, and then swing 7 at face. He goes 2K, 2K. This is a terrible position to be in, right? He's going to swing for 5. His only hope is to go for lethal here. Well, here you go. Here's a 2K if you want it. Okay, now I think he's going to attach 1 more Dawn to, yeah, there's just no way through. There's no way through, right? Because I have a blocker as well. Okay, here's a 1K. I guess I don't need this Luffy anymore. I was going to save that for more tricks next turn. Don't need it now. And now he's going to play out a Gecko Moria. Too little, too late, guys. I have 3 9Ks on the board. He's at 1 life. He did not even bring back a blocker. I think he should have at least tried to bring back a Frankie maybe, right? 6 and a 9 to draw 2, trash 1. Oh, I do like that. I do like the draw 2, trash 1. Then he plays out an Idio for the turn. But no, it's going to be 9s all day, every day, guys. 9s across the board. It would be 9, 9, 9, 9, and then 11. Or 12 or something like that. GG. Great game to my opponent there. It's just not going to be able to survive that onslaught of 9s. Let's go to the deck list now. So, absolute MVP. MVP of the day. This card right here. MVP of the day was this card right here. I mean, so is this one. Let's just be honest. Cavendish is up there as well. But this card legitimately won me games by itself, right? I shut down 2 Eustass kids 10 Dawn turns where they could not play out the 10 cost ace on curve. Or maybe I did that to 1, and then I think I did it to maybe a... maybe it was just the 1. I can't remember, but I feel like there were 2 relevant turns where I locked out a 10 cost play. Locking down characters, it doesn't care what their cost is, by the way, guys. This card's not like a 7 cost or lower. It just says lock down 1 Dawn or lock down 1 character. Period. End of discussion. It's that simple, right? But yeah, this character, guys, very, very strong in the list. And even just playing it out on tempo, who cares? Just, okay, 5 cost 6K. Now next turn my leader effect's turned on, and I can just start going at him. This card was, so Cavendish was great. Let's just... Nothing to even talk about here, right? This card, MVP. The Searcher, like Jory Bonnie and, where's the other one? Luffy. Great. But now let's talk about it. And also the 7 cost 9K. Basil Hawkins, we need to talk about in Trafalgar Law. These were not insane to me. This card I did not play 1 time. What do you guys think about that? What are you trying to do with this card in the deck? Is it just a 5 cost green or yellow Supernova card? Because I'm even considering, I think there's another one. Of course it's a promo, guys. Of course this card's a promo. So what I was going to say is, like, so this is a 5 cost 6K 1K counter Supernova Jory Bonnie. It has on play if your leader has the Supernova type, which ours does, and your life total is equal to or less than your opponent's, which it probably always will be, right? Place up to 1 of your cost 4 or lower characters on the top or bottom of their life face up. Place 1 of your opponent's 4 cost or lower characters on their on the top or bottom of their life face up. So, I mean, that's at least decent. I feel like I could at least, like, do something with that, right? I can even, like, just push it out of the way, do other stuff with it, and establish a big body. So, like, maybe this is another call we could try out here. Maybe we go Uruj. But here's all I'm going to say, guys. I just couldn't find any, like, insane value with this card. Because remember, like, you might be thinking, like, yeah, but we could pull back the Luffys. Yeah, we're already doing that, right? Like, we're already doing that with Trafalgar Law. Like, Trafalgar Law literally says, I'll just pull back the Luffy even when I have nothing to show on top, and I might get extra value from it that way. Just absolutely insane potential plays off the top with this character, with this leader. Again, if it's working properly. But let me see something real quick. Yeah, this card, incredible as well. So there are plays, there are ideas you have to consider with this deck, where it's like, even if you don't have the 7 cost 9K Law to cheat this into your life and do your tricks that way, if you're just trying to go for lethal, there's potential where it's like, okay, let's just say we have Bonnie down, and let's just say we just literally need 2 attacks to go through. Imagine this. Swing for 5 with leader. No, excuse me, swing for 6 with leader, because you might as well swing for 6 with it. Okay? Then... load up Bonnie with all but 1 Dawn. So 8 plus 6 is what? 14. So literally swing 14 with Bonnie. So actually, instead, go 7 with... sorry, guys. We're doing all this on the fly, right? So put 7... Do 2 Dawn on your leader. Swing for 7, right? So then you have 3 Dawn. Then you have 8 Dawn left for the turn. 1 Dawn's going to go to the play I'm about to say with Beige. So then we have 7 Dawn left. So 7 into 6, so swing 13 with your Bonnie. If you just have to get 2 attacks through, like they have 1 life left, okay, 13 with Bonnie, right? And then play out the Beige and put the Restand Law into your life, and then use your leader effect to pull back the Beige, right? Use the leader effect here. Pull back the Beige, play out the card from life, restand your Bonnie, swing for 13 more. You see what I'm saying? Like, there is some potential there to just do some incredibly nasty things. So I'm a big fan of the Restand Law. But this one, I'm not fully sold on this card yet. Tell me what your guys' experience has been with this card, or what your thoughts are on it in this deck. The other one, Basil Hawkins. Not exactly insane. Maybe this is the thing. Maybe it's just a Supernova card and that's all we need, like with the 5 cost 6K and this Basil Hawkins. Maybe just the fact that they are searchable Supernova cards. They're cards we can put into life with our 7 cost if needed. I will say that right now. I do like the Basil Hawkins because if I ever have to do a defensive 7 cost 9K Trafalgar Law, yeah, this is the card I want in my life, right? This is the one. Because this is going to allow me to draw 2 Trash 1 on the trigger. That is big time, right? So not only am I gaining a life by playing this card out and putting this into life, but I'm also, so I'll eat their first attack and then I'm fixing my hand. Big fan of this card. This card was actually awesome as well. This card was actually excellent. And this one was okay. The 3 cost 5K Zoro, this was really not bad. There are some tricks that are intended for this deck with Dracula Mihawk. I have not been able to pull them off yet to any high degree. Because Dracula Mihawk can cheat out of Basil Hawkins because it's a slash character, or the Zoro, right? So there's some potential there, but here's the thing. Cheating out the Zoro, what does that really do for you? I guess if you're trying to go wide on the board against a deck running black or something, but no. I mean, these are 3 cost characters. I'd rather just slam Zoro, swing 5, let him attack into it like normal, and then I can swing for 5 with my leader. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that interaction, but I will say the Mihawk slinging out a Basil Hawkins, maybe there's some ideas there. And one more thing I want to say, guys, is this is not my list. I have to stress that. This is not my list. This is someone else's, and I think it did really well because I got it from like a 5-0 flagship tournament or something better than that, like an 8-2 regional tournament. So it's not like, I'm saying it's a list that either went like 5-0 at a flagship or 8-2 at a regional. It's something along those lines. So it's clearly not a bad deck. It's just I think there's a few things we can fix. This is where is it? This card right here is definitely a weak link in the deck, in my personal opinion, and I wish we had a better option here. And if we look through like Supernova cards, like 5 cost Supernovas, okay, there you go. I think I might actually literally just put this card in. This is a Supernova searchable card. Let me see something. Look at the top 5 up to 1. Yeah, this doesn't care about the color of the card. The same thing with Bonnie, and this doesn't either, right? Reveal a Supernova type character card. The only card I think that actually cares about color on cards in this deck is actually Scratchman Apu. But again, that's not the biggest deal in the world. So I think right away, like my very first initial change I'm going to make to the deck is going -4 of that Trafalgar Law and up 4 of this X-Drake. Because it's going to let me pop characters that are rested right when it comes into play. Maybe for the time being, I'll even go 2 and 2, just because, I mean, this is a blocker. For what it's worth, that is a blocker, but going up the X-Drakes means I also go up 1K counter. So, we'll see. We'll see about it. I need to figure some stuff out with that card. There is some other cards to consider as well. There was a 5 cost, the Jory Bonnie we were just looking at. This one, it's a promo card, though, so again, don't get your hopes up there. But, you know, even Uruj, like, maybe this is a card to cheat out. Because if we, imagine if we go like this. Okay, I'm just trying to do some math right now. Imagine we play this out on curve, going first, 7 Dawn turn, right? Okay, play this out, 7 cost 9K, and put that card in our life. This is a Supernova card, right? Attach a Dawn to our leader with the effect of this 7 cost 9K Law. Now, here you go. You know, we'll cheat it right into play with the leader's effect, and we just played out a 9K and a 7K. That's like Purple Luffy levels of ramp, right? Like Purple Luffy doesn't even do that. He does like an 8 cost and a 6K. If we can go a 9K, 7K, could be good. I'm just saying it could be good. Might not be. There is some argument for this card, though, that's for sure. Let me see something real quick. If the total cost of your characters is 5 or more, you can return one of your characters to the owner's hand. So that's interesting. It does not specify Supernova for what you can return to your hand. So we could pull back something else. Are there tricks we want to try to do with that? Like, are there tricks we can maybe pull off? We have to look into that in the future. Another decent 5 cost 6K, 1K counter Supernova searchable card is this one right here. And this is a yellow card. There's definitely an idea to run this, because if you just have to go for lethal at the end of the game, like in the situation I was saying earlier, where it's like, okay, we just have to get like 2 or 3 attacks through. Let's just do all these shenanigans to like swing like crazy. This card's not exactly bad. I don't think we should be trying to draw cards from his effect very often, but who knows? If you're going against Bonnie, maybe this is just a nice little tech card to have in there that gets the job done. I don't know. But this is definitely a card for consideration, and I think I'm even going to... I'm about to just drop this card, guys. Tell me what y'all think. I don't want to just drop it for no reason. I think the card still has potential. But what are we trying to do with it? Are we trying to bring back the 7 cost 9K Trafalgar Law? Because we can already do that. Like, our leader can literally do that. We can pretty much create like this infinite loop for the most part with a 7 cost 9k, right? Where it's like, okay, I'll tell you what, if I have a 7 cost 9k, right, and I play out the 7 cost 9k, and let's say I put a 7 cost 9k with his effect into life, because you can do that. He can just tag team life himself the whole time, right? Okay, next turn I'll swing for 9, and then I'll pull him back to my hand, and I'll do it again. I'll literally just do it again and gain that life right back. I could just keep doing that. I don't think this card's necessary, guys. I don't think it is. We have to think about it. We need to put a lot of time and effort into like making this deck work properly. But as is, I'm not a huge fan of it. What about this card? This is a Supernova. If you have 3 or more characters, your cost 3 or lower characters other than Luffy cannot be KO'd. Maybe there's an idea for this. Okay, I'm going to like go -1 here, -1 here. I'm going to go +1 Luffy. I'm going to go +1 of the other Luffy as well. This one. And I'm just going to kind of keep it like that for now for potential ideas. I'm going to even bring in this this Bonnie. I'm going to bring in a bunch of cards, guys, just so we can try to make this list work, because this list is a lot of fun to play, guys. I'm not going to lie. I even think Carrot's not even like the worst idea in a deck like this. I know it's not searchable. I know we can't do any special tricks with it, but Carrot is a menace, guys. I know we have Bonnie as well. It's a very similar effect, but Carrot is just kind of one of those cards right now. I'm going to be honest. I would rather run Carrot than the 5 cost Law, at least currently. From my current experience, I did not get almost any value from that card. But yeah, we'll at least think about that one. Now let me just type in Supernova just for all the other, because maybe there's some other like 4 cost ideas. This is an interesting idea. Basil Hawkins, the 6 cost. I know we can't do the 5 cost tricks with it, but it's still a decent idea. I don't think Uruj is going to be too good for what we're trying to do. Caribou. 4 cost 5k, 1k counter. If you have 6 or more Rested Dawn cards, he gets +1000. So this is like a 4 cost 6k blocker. This might be something for us to think about. And honestly, this card is always something to think about, because this is at least a really solid blocker that can replace itself. This Bartolomeo, this is a 3 cost 4k, 1k counter blocker that has your turn once per turn. If a character is rested from your own effect, draw 1, trash 1. Maybe that could be interesting. There's some ideas there. I'm not going to mess with this card. Who knows? Maybe this card's really good, but we're not going to mess with that right now. Oh, here we go. This might be interesting. Hang on. All right, so this might be where to go with it. This is a 5 cost 6k, 1k counter Luffy. If you have 2 or more rested characters, which we were able to pull off pretty easily, right? Choose up to one of your opponent's cost 6 or lower characters, or up to one of your opponent's Dawn, and rest it. This will rest the Dawn. It doesn't keep a Dawn tapped that already is tapped like Bonnie. It rests a Dawn. So that could be very interesting, because we can rest down a character, right? If we have 2 or more rested characters, choose up to one of your opponent's cost 6 or lower characters, or up to one of your opponent's Dawn, and rest it. Yeah, so we can rest characters like that. That's some serious consideration there. Where am I? Let me go. We're going to add this card, and we're going to add the other Luffy too. Already added that one. And then let me see this one. This is a new Zoro that came out in OP10. 5 cost 6k, 1k counter. It's Supernova. Opponent's turn. If you have 2 or more rested characters, this character gains +2000 power. I would literally rather have this card than Trafalgar Law. I don't know. Again, maybe I'm going crazy, guys. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. This is also a good card, but it doesn't have a 1k counter like the Apu does, right? This is like the sturdy, for sure, always 1 cost blocker, whereas this is the situational one. The 1 cost Apu is. Yeah. Basil Hawkins would be interesting in a list like this. Yeah, Basil Hawkins would be very interesting. It's a 5 cost Supernova. I'm going to add that to the list for now. And we're not going to save it. Like, we're going to save the list as is. Let me get the Erosion there as well. And we're just going to mess around with it later. Let me add this one as well. So Dawn, this one came out in OP10. 4 cost 5k, 1k counter. Dawn times 1. If your leader Supernova and your opponent has 3 or more life cards, this character cannot be KO'd in battle. So that like forces removal on a card like this. Let me also go up to the other one, the 4 cost, this Caribou. Those Caribous are decent. Like, they're interesting at least, right? 6 cost 8k Cavendish. I don't think so. Not for this list. For Eustass Kid, it makes more sense because you could stand it and turn it into a blocker. Oh, what about this? 3 cost 5k on KO. I'm going to add this as well for now. So Killer is a 3 cost 5k with no counter, but on KO, if your leader has the Supernova type, look at 3 cards from the top of your deck, reveal 1 Supernova or Kid Pirates type card, and add it to your hand, then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. So it's kind of like Perospero. It's like a Perospero light version, right? That could be interesting. This new blocker Bonnie as well. 3 cost, 4K, 1K counter blocker. On play, add the top or bottom card of your life to your hand and place up to 1 cost 5 or lower Supernova type character card from your hand to the top of your life face up. So this could be pretty good as well. So think about the turns we could set up when we don't have like a beige. Like say we don't want to run this beige that I have up here. If we don't want to run this or it's too early to run this Trafalgar Law, as long as we have 5 Dawns worth of characters on the field or more, we might be able to play this out with some tempo and just throw a, where's his name? Where is he at? Good old-fashioned Luffy. It's the one we added, the 5 cost, here he is. We could like throw this into life and just cheat him into play or something, right? That could be very interesting. Let me see, does it have to be, it just has to be a Supernova card. It can be green or yellow. Yeah, unless I'm misreading this, it could be green or yellow, so we could throw Cavendish in there, the Bonnies, whatever we need to do. Or, like I was saying, maybe X-Drake. There's some ideas there. We'll see about that. We got the Basil Hawkins. We have this other stuff. We have the Zoro, the 2K counter. Eustass Captain Kidd not being in the list is actually not as crazy as you might think, guys. It's like we just don't have time for it. It's like we just don't have... We don't have time for it, unfortunately. This 2K counter, this will be something to consider if we ever get this promo. Something to consider. And then we have some events. This event is very strong, guys. It looks at the top of you or your opponent's life cards to put on the top or bottom, and then so it's like a Katakuri effect for 4 Dawn, and then it pops a 5 or less, and then trigger draw 2 trash 1. This is actually a really nice tech card that we need to keep in consideration. I'm going to add it to the list for now as well. 2 costs. Let's meet in the new world. 2 costs. It's a 4K, and if you have 0 life, draw a card. I'm not a huge fan of this one. I know it has potential, but if we're on 0 life, we're in deep trouble. 1 cost, here's a 1 cost 3K counter, then set up to one of your cost 5 or lower characters is active. See, let me say this. If we were running the 5 cost Trafalgar Law and that event we just looked at, Room, then I could imagine, I could see this card being very good with this blocker then, right? Okay, block a 6, or even this Caribou, right? It sets up to one of your 5 cost or lower as active. Yeah, it doesn't care what type it is, by the way. So it's like, okay, and it doesn't matter what color either, right? So if you have 1 or less life, you do have to be at 1 or less life. Give up to one of your leader or characters plus 3,000 power for this battle, and then set up to one of your cost 5 or lower characters as active. So if we had like a Caribou down or a Trafalgar Law down or some block or whatever, and then after blocking out of a 5K or even blocking out of a 6K and giving a 1, right? Okay, block out of that, and then when they go to swing in. Say they go to swing in for 7, now that our 6K blocker's down, okay, then we can go pay 1, if we're at 1 or less life, pay 1, 3K counter out of it, and then stand at my blocker again. Now I'm getting out of your next 7K attack with a 2K counter. So there is some logic there, but I'm just not a huge fan of that event in here. I think this list needs to be very, very aggressive, but I will at least add this one, because it's a cool idea. But yeah. So we got some work to do, guys. Let me make this the modded one. I always like to add like modded lists now of whatever I'm working on, so that way I can keep the original and mess with the new one. But there are some really serious things we need to consider with this list for anyone who's really serious about Green Yellow Law. Please tell me what you guys think down in the comment section below. This ended up being like a comprehensive deep dive on Green Yellow Law, but I have to say, this is becoming a side project piece for me, guys. I did not think I would like this leader as much as I do right now. I'm not saying it's going to be the most competitive, because I think some of its tricks can be a little gimmicky, but who knows, maybe with enough, refining the list and getting better with it, maybe that will, allow us to make it more consistent and not so gimmicky. We'll have to see what happens. All right, I'm done. I'm done, guys. I've just been yapping this whole time. I hope y'all enjoyed that. Guys, please do not forget to like and subscribe if you have not already. Please don't forget to hop on the stream, guys, on Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. We do a stream from 9 p.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern, okay? And real quick, guys, I just want to say thank you to everybody who supports the channel, whether you're liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing, hopping on the stream, hopping on the Discord, giving information on, Red, Yellow, Saba, or whatever you might be doing. I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much. Big shout out to the VV Pirates playmat supporters. Here we are again, guys. Another big shout out to the VV Pirates YouTube members. I think we're about to hit 100. I think we're at 99 at the time he's recording this, guys, which has been so amazing. Thank you to everybody on there. Once I hit 100, I think I'm going to make a whole list for that, and maybe that's what we'll do as we get 100. As we get there. Maybe we'll do or maybe 50s at a time, 25s at a time. We'll figure out how to do it in the future. But again, not everyone's name is on this list yet, but thank you to everybody who is one of the VV Pirates YouTube members. That has been such a blessing, guys. It helps me out it helps me out so much. and then the VV Pirates patron page. Everybody on here just donating to help the cause, trying to keep the dream alive, trying to keep the channel going. All right, I'm done, guys. I really want to know what y'all think about green-yellow Trafalgar Law in the comments section. Please be nice, though. It's first week of us having access to it over here in the West. Don't be mean to the opponents who didn't know what they were doing, or me if I was messing stuff up or saying things wrong. Just be nice, correct it if you need to, okay? All right, I'm done. Till next time, guys. Peace.